G'day, mate, and welcome back to Oxygen Not Included with me, Jedi. So, let's go through some of the things that happened last couple of episodes. Well, between the last episode and now, some things have happened. First off, we're going to go through our great poopy farm. So, our great poopy farm is definitely full of poop. That's sand. No, we're waiting for these things to fill. But we have these little mini pumps that are going basically flat out. Oh, really? That's backed up? We're off to a good start. Okay. Go for it, Jeeps. So, our great poopy farm is over-pressurized with oxygen. As you can see, they've all got like 2 to 3 kilos worth of oxygen. All our little mobs. And there is just a few mobs are, well, they're creating lots of fart gas. Lots and lots and lots and lots of fart gas. Extreme amounts of fart gas. If I could lower the pressure. These little mini pumps that only do, what is it, 50 grams? 50 grams per second is not enough. Obviously, I really wish I had larger pumps. Oh, look, we'll do that real quick. Let's print some gold. Let's also clear up you guys. So, yeah. They've been doing wonders. We've actually had a bunch of ceramic, and unfortunately, I just went and spent it all. Prior to this episode starting. Is that 9? No. Can we 9 this, please? Thank you. Thank you, Jeeps. There's another one. Okay, so that's that sorted. The other thing we have done is over here. I have my Slickster farm running. There's a couple of Slicksters. I think there's 4 in this room. 12? 1. Oh, this room is a room overlay. This room is the size of the whole map. Because as you can see, I don't have a door here. I have a viscogel lock, which keeps the carbon dioxide in and the oxygen out, but means that my room marker is not really a room. It's the size of the whole map. So it keeps bouncing all over the place. But I have 4 Slicksters in here and they're doing fine. As you can see, I've got all these pedestals in here of all these hot materials, like 300 degrees, 140, 120, 120, 100. Anything else that's cooled down enough? 120, 120. Basically, I'm just bringing in the hot materials from space, and that teapot's probably cool enough, and dumping them into this room until they cool down. You can have, oh, we got one of these from space, and note the shield generator is on the floor. Okay, and once they're cooled down, they're then being transported up to here, where they can give us a unrealistic amount of decor. Yeah, it's a little bit extreme in here. If I put in glass tiles so the decor could shine between the levels, it would be even more extreme. But, you know, we're just moving the decor stuff from here to there. Really, all these statues I have all around the base. Let's go. Decor. A genius statue. A genius statue is worth 30. A pedestal item is worth 78. So, realistically, what I should be doing is I should be removing all these statues one by one, replacing them with pedestals, and just putting stuff on them. Not a bad idea, something I should do, something I'm probably not going to do, just because the sheer amount of time and effort it will take. And let's face it, anywhere the dupes are traveling, the decor is definitely on the greener scale of green. There are obviously still some horrible, horrible areas, but normally the dupes don't travel to them, and you'll notice it's pretty much wherever my heavy watt wire goes is where the horrible areas are. But the dupes don't wander out there too often. So, we've got that process done. Our great Sleet wheat farm has finally cooled down. Almost enough. These guys are saying they're too hot at 5.1 degrees. But most of them are up and running. Now, so like this guy. his growth is halted for no reason whatsoever. Pressure. Oh, we're over 10 kilos of pressure down here. Yeah, even though we've got a normal gas vent that it can only like maxes out at like 2 kilos or whatever it is, for some reason, some of this area overpressurized. We're literally just waiting on the, let's go gas overlay. We're literally just waiting on some of this oxygen to force its way out, and some carbon dioxide is going to force its way out as well, because the pressure in here just got far, far, far too high. I could put in some pumps and speed up the process, but I'm just going to let it happen naturally over 50, 100 cycles, whatever it happens to be. But we are now growing sleet wheat. Unfortunately, it takes 72 cycles for one piece of sleet wheat to grow. So, without looking at the calculator, I don't know how much food this is, but it's not a lot. I'll be perfectly honest, it's not a lot. You guys are now flowing again. Yeah, you'll take a little while for this blockage to fix itself. But, yeah, these guys have produced a whole heap of ceramic, well, a whole heap of clay that we've promptly burnt into ceramic. We've got our sleet wheat farm. We have our thimbleweed farm, which has produced a heap of thimbleweed, which has given us a heap of insulation. We're not done with thimbleweed. We still need more, because if I go up to here, we can see insulation. I still have 8 tons of iso resin, but no reed fiber, so I need reed fiber. The other thing that we've done, which explains why we have the natural gas everywhere, is we were from space bringing back methane. Methane is conveyor rails. Methane is shipping down here, across this bridge, and onto this main line where it's dropping straight down. Now, the drop straight down is fine. It's staying cool enough till it gets all the way down here. Once it's all the way down here, it's been picked up by an auto sweeper and shipped out again. And as it's being shipped out, it was being shipped all the way up to here. And it was on the way moving from a solid to a liquid, so liquid methane. And then liquid methane was then turning into natural gas. Some very chilly natural gas. So we've cooled down a big chunk at the base, but natural gas nonetheless. So I rebuilt this over here. I put in my tepidizer and everything else. I put in my crude oil, which then we shipped in some methane, and it promptly froze my crude oil. So I have helped my process along, come on, by taking my aqua tuner down here, which is providing active cooling, which is giving us some water. It's told to cool the water down to 15 degrees, so nice and chilly. And it was fighting to get it down to 15 degrees. Pumping that up, it's cooling down this steam vent, these two steam turbines that run over the iron volcano, bringing the liquid all the way back down. And I'm now looping it around this section. The reason I'm actually looping around this section is it's warmed up to 20 degrees, and then I'm cooling it back down to 15 degrees because these aluminium tiles are freezing. They're at minus 100 degrees. So I'm hoping to zap out a little bit of the cool, and at the same time, just heat this area up slightly where we can... well, basically, where we can hopefully heat this crude oil up enough, it'll change back to a liquid, which is like minus 40 degrees. Minus 40 degrees. So once the crude oil gets up to minus 40 degrees, which is going to be pretty hard when the metal tiles around it are at minus 100 degrees, yeah, when it finally heats up enough, it'll turn back to a liquid. The tepidizer will then heat it back up, and then hopefully we can liquefy to solidify the rest of our methane. This has worked really well. As you can see, there's a lot of natural gas. This one is also pumping away, trying to clear off the rest of the methane that was in this room. Yeah, this has worked really well. I would like to, in another series, continue with this idea and see whether I can improve on it. Probably put it, like, literally right where the space debris get dropped off in a vacuum, and then try and process it locally and then ship the natural gas out. Next thing that has happened is I fixed these oil wells. Turns out if they have ever had any polluted water in them, it sits in here and you can't empty it out of the machine. You have to deconstruct the oil well, and then rebuild it, and then pump new clean water in there. So got that up and working. At the same time, I just went and dumped in a whole bunch of natural steam generators, which are pumping out polluted water, which is promptly turning into steam because the machines are that damn hot. And whatever stays as a liquid, we're actually pumping out. We were taking it straight through to liquid sieve, but it turns out it was over 100 degrees when it was going into liquid sieve, so we're now taking it down. We're dumping the heat into the oil, which is okay, because the oil's pretty much a static 90 degrees. Bringing it back up, running it through the sieve, passing it back through there to pump water into these lovely machines. And yeah, that's pretty much where they're up to. I've also got a decent oil reservoir down here. I am considering putting in a second pump, because these 6 here will give us 2 pumps worth, 20 kilos per second worth of oil. So yeah, I'm considering doing that in the future. We'll see what happens. What else has happened? Space, nothing. Power problems are mostly sorted between these guys, which are actually just burning the local natural gas. So if you remember, these had several 100 kilograms in there. I've literally they're passing straight into these natural gas generators. They're not hooked up to any smarts. They're not hooked up to any automation. They just burn. We just burn off all the power. I don't care. They just run it. So yeah, they're running. They're pretty happy. I've also got up here these coal generators, same story. They run pretty much whenever the hell they want to. Any carbon dioxide that they vent out into the local area that then disappears off to space, so I don't have to deal with it. Just solving problems one at a time. Let's lower the priority on those. Yeah. What else? That's pretty much about it. Oh, no. Our lovely little shovels. Our shovels are, if I can find the right tile, Regolith, 20 kilos. Basically, conveyor overlay. Basically, any Regolith that lands here, this auto sweeper picks up, shoves into the automatic dispenser, which can process and move 1 ton per second. So this side ends up very, very clear very, very quickly. The conveyor loader, on the other hand, only processes 20 kilos per second. So as you can see, I have, what's that? 15 kilos, 10 kilos, 35, 36 kilos worth of Regolith right here. And if it ever runs short, I have literally just started doing this. So we change both those across, which should open these bottom bunk doors, drop down everything that are underneath these rockets. Straight through. Oh. There was a pipe there. And change them back. And same story. This one I'll just clear all this stuff, shove it in there, have it drop out this side, and then anything that this one can pick up that's not Regolith will get shipped in here. Anything that is Regolith will get shipped out there. That's pretty much as it sums up. Basically, we're getting rid of the Regolith. It's being fed to the shovels. The shovels should also, yes, they are. We're shipping any meat onto the main conveyor line, which then just comes down and that's polluted dirt, not meat. Okay, comes in here and just drops down the great chute of storage. Drops it into central storage. At which point I never have to deal with it again. So I have really loved the central storage idea. I really wish I'd built it elsewhere. I also wish I could have built it in a vacuum, because technically, because all this material is not in a vacuum, it's all doing, there are packus in there. Okay, I'm not questioning things. Technically, they're all doing heat transfer with one another, along with this weight plate that they're sitting on, which, by the way, has, what's that? That's tons. So 15,000 tons of material on it, and counting. So, yeah, we've got a little bit of stuff on that weight plate. Like I said, I really wish I'd done that sort of higher up and in a vacuum. Even if it had to wait till I got visco gel locks to lock the whole area in. But it means I can't have this dropping method of just dropping everything through, because I can't build a horizontal liquid lock. Not that I've worked out how to do yet. I'm hoping maybe I can work out some way to do that in the future. Yeah, I don't know how to do that yet, but maybe in the future. So, that's going, that's fine. Reed fiber. I said I needed reed fiber, a lot of reed fiber. So what we're actually going to do is I've set up this little reed fiber farm. Thimbleweed seed, plant, Friday 9, copy. All the way there. And I've already plumbed over our polluted water, which I'm really hoping that if I just do that and that, we can start getting some thimbleweeds going in hydroponic tiles, which are going to require 160 kilograms per cycle of polluted water, which is just going to absolutely decimate my tank. But that should be okay, because we do have an extreme amount of polluted water over here in our tank at, like, you know, what's that, 157 tons per tile. So it should be okay. But yeah, given probably not all that many cycles, we'd end up just decimating our polluted water tanks. Now, these guys are going to grow. Hopefully, they're going to be cool enough. They require under 37 degrees, and the area in here is like 45. So I'm hoping the fact that we're pumping in water that's a little bit cooler should keep them cool. No, there we go. Body temperature already. So I'm going to have to actively cool this area, which means I have already plumbed in, built, and set up my thermal aqua tuner to basically run cool liquid through these radiant pipes to hopefully cool down the whole area. I'm going to set you to 35. You're already set. So I just need to have a duplicate come and Prey 9 build that there, which will then let us fill the loop, and then we should be good to go. And it also means I'm going to have to bottom row is done, seal up that row, seal that row, seal that row. I was sort of hoping that the liquid would be cool enough that it would keep the temperature manageable. Oh boy. So yeah, the game is struggling a lot. So it does mean that I am gonna, at the end of the year, I'm gonna call this series of Oxygen Not Included done. We're then gonna probably, maybe not straight away, there might be a couple of days break between I start a new series, but I will be starting a new series in the new year. More Oxygen Not Included, because I have to admit, I find it far too much fun to torture the dupes. Yeah, we're going to slowly fill that pipe. But yeah, that should be self-sufficient. That should run, and that should just cool everything down. That should give us a heap of thimbleweeds, which we are going to set to harvest plants. Come on, you can do it. You can do it, game. Prey 9, harvest. All of them. Oh boy. My natural ones down here did an alright job, but yeah, not nearly enough, not nearly fast enough. Naturally, they take 8 cycles. Unnaturally, they take 2 cycles. So putting in the effort to feed them with polluted water and everything else makes a massive difference. This is a temporary setup. It's going to be destroyed. It's going to be removed. It's going to take ages for thermal conductivity 0.15, 0.11. I'm going to lose a bit of cooling through the roof. It should be okay. It should be okay. So, yeah, it's going to take a while to, well, this is going to run for a little while, and then it's going to leave me one hell of a mess I'm going to have to clean up. But that's all later problems for later times. You're all done. You're at 40 degrees. If above. There we go. Much better. 45, 45, 45, 45, 45. What are you coming in at? 45. It's not running correctly. It's just passing right over the top. Does that... It's a problem with this build. If the pipe is not full, you'll use the power to run the machine, but the liquid will pass straight past it. If it's full, it actually runs correctly. If the pipe's full, rather. 28 degrees. Much better. Rejoin those two together. See, now it's running fine. So, a couple more things I want to fix. One, I want to have a couple more rockets. So, star map wise, we've got rockets going everywhere. We're getting this one and this one for fullerene and iso resin. I don't really need iso resin anymore, so we're gonna. I'd like to stop that rocket, but I don't know if I can. So, over here, we can see world mass available. So, we can see the current mass, the maximum mass, and the minimum mass. If you look at these numbers very, very carefully, you'll see the maximum mass is 12 tons larger than the minimum mass, which is the same for every damn planet just amount. So, I think that's bugged. I don't remember the numbers being that close together. Maybe they were. Maybe they weren't. They weren't. What rocket's going there? Can I look? You're just not going to tell me. Okay. So we're grabbing fullerene. We're grabbing iso resin. We're grabbing iso resin. We're grabbing fullerene. We're grabbing fullerene. We're grabbing fullerene. We're grabbing research. Yeah, that one's a research rocket. I have another research rocket going all the way out to the gas giant because I'm really hoping this has fullerene on it, at which point, because fullerene's the only solid object there, I can just send a whole tank, a whole storage container out there and bring back 1 ton of fullerene because the other two require a gas cargo canister. And if I don't send a gas cargo canister, I don't get any gas. Oh. You're going to that one. You're now going to that one. 5.4 tons. Current mass. Yes, okay. So yeah, we're going to change your target. You are filling up with steam and hopefully a duplicate. Nope, that's already loaded. So just waiting for you to refill with steam, which means our steam room's running, which means we can apply some more cooling to our supercoolant pipe, which is unfortunately not staying cool enough. I'd really like it lower temperature, but it's not getting there. So yeah, power. So I need to set up power this episode, and I also need to set up liquid hydrogen. Liquid hydrogen is going to be the next really big thing because we've got the tech, but I need to actually start making liquid hydrogen so we can basically use it en masse to make our next rocket, because our petroleum rockets, as they are in their current configuration, can only make it out to 10,000 kilometers. If I shorten them, so if I add less cargo canisters, I could push them further, but the end goal is the temporal tear at 1,800 kilometers, and there is no way you can get a petroleum rocket out there. You need a hydrogen rocket. So our plan is going to be twofold this episode. As I said, one, try and get a try and get a proper rocket all the way, a hydrogen rocket all the way out there. At the same time, I want to do something about power. Now, I have this petroleum line that comes all the way over here, and this petroleum line comes from our petroleum boiler down here, which is pumping out 10 kilos of petroleum per second. Where are we? You're taking 9.5 kilos of oil per second, which you're turning petroleum, which means this pipe down here should have, it says 10 kilos, but the pump does kick on and off every now and then. So we're bringing 9.5 kilos of oil in, we're converting that into petroleum, we're then taking our petroleum, we're bringing it back here, we're putting it into our storage container. We do have some very fat reserves of petroleum, and we're also splicing it off down here to go make plastic, and we're just made crap tons worth of plastic because it's the one thing it's like a building resource. Unfortunately, all our hatches have eaten our raw mineral. They've eaten all our igneous rock, sedimentary rock. They haven't eaten our granite because I didn't let them, or our obsidian, and they obviously haven't eaten our mafic rock. So, speaking of hatches, you guys are officially done. We're just gonna turn them all off. We're going to turn off that guy, who is or was bringing over all the igneous rock, etc. And we're just done with that. We're no longer dealing with hatches. We're going to let the last of them die off. We'll probably leave this running because this will just make infinite hatches that will just turn straight into meat, which is perfectly fine. In fact, I might even do as I did with the pips. And I don't see why not. Put a door right there. You're low on water. Can we put some water in there, please? JJ. Okay. Yeah, this got low on water again. If I can go there and go liquid. Yeah, 850 kilos. It's got to go back up to 950. It means some of the water has been deleted. I love this game. Which is why this has 16 critters in there rather than 3. Because it should only have 3. Because the rest should be already pre-dealt with. Nope, gonna need another shipment of water. That's only going to take it up 25 kilos because I'm going to need another 2 shipments of water. Aaron's, Martin, good. 2 shipments, 3 shipments. Come on, water levels. Up you go. Yeah, one more. Over 950 kilos. Over 950 kilos is like a guarantee that will work. Anything below that, it should work, but may occasionally have little hiccups. Come on. Come on. Come on, Martin. Martin gave up. Bill the Great's now doing it. No, he gave up. Reptile Game is now doing it. This thing, one shift ends and people go to lunch break and they just don't do things or they don't finish their current task. Nope, that was not the right dupe. Come on! And after waiting far too long and 3 different dupes deciding then have a dash at doing this, we finally had the last dupe come along who finally dropped in the last bottle of water and got this sorted. So this is going to go back to an active state, so therefore we can kill off all our lovely pets and turn them into meat, which will automatically get shipped out. Back to our rocket problem. So like I said, I want to build 2 things. I want to build a power generation off this petroleum pipe. I also want to build basically same as I did for the liquid oxygen. I want to build some liquid hydrogen. Now I could try and squeeze it in here or here and then run the pipe all the way across, but that sort of seems like a bit of a nightmare. So I want to build it fresh on the other side of the base, over here somewhere. Now this is my liquid oxygen, which I'd really like to keep at that level. I really don't want my liquid hydrogen to get in the way. So we're going to just box off the bottom. I need to have 1, 2, 3, 4 tiles free for steam generation. Steam generator, and then I need to have... That got tight real quick. So, things that I can't move. I cannot move the steam turbines. Okay, they have to go there. I have no other choice. But utilities, aqua tuner, 2 aqua tuners. Is that going to be enough room? Okay, aqua tuners are... No, that's not going to be enough room. Cancel. Because I've got a design sort of picked out already. I want to make you out of ceramic would be ideal. Okay, so what I want to do, just bear with me. What I want to do is I want to have a large power transformer to run this aqua tuner. Beside that, I need utilities, aqua tuner. I need an aqua tuner. You gotta go. Okay, let's try again. Aqua tuner, right there. Beside that, you need a thermosensor for your pipes. Beside that, I'm going to put in a power transformer. That way, this transformer can run this aqua tuner. Problem solved. Beside that, I need a liquid vent to return our water that we've converted to steam. I need inside a pipe. No, I really want all my ceramics. So, down here somewhere, I was in the process. Maybe the dupes have already done it all. I think they've already done it all. 78 degrees, 83 degrees. We can replace that with normal pipe. Yeah, it looks like they've already done it all because I did come through here and it did start replacing a lot of these pipes from normal traditional pipes. Yeah, there we go. Over to ceramic pipes. Oh, speaking of ceramic pipes, we have finally capped off this saltwater geyser and are finally just pumping that water out directly, which means these 2 pumps are just pumping the liquid that's already here, that's been here for ever. Because it's been there forever. We've been pumping out this corner of the base for 1,000 cycles plus. Okay, so I have no ceramic. That's unfortunate. Okay, so you're going to just have to be mafic rock because that's the best I have. We're going to do plumbing, insulated pipe. I'd love to use insulation, but it's not going to happen. So we're going to use obsidian. Okay, that's a granite. That's a sedimentary. That's an obsidian. That's an igneous. You have thermal conductivity of 0.6, 0.6, 0.6, 0.1. So I can use anything other than granite. Okay. So we're going to run down like that, across like that, clear out all those. Plumbing. Okay, so this is the cold side. So the cold side I want to wrap down into here. Then plumbing, radiant pipes out of... It really doesn't matter. I need to put a pump down there in that corner. Does that work? No, we'll just do this. Okay. Pump down here in this corner. Yep. And then we'll go back to insulated pipe. And... I don't know. Actually, I'll just leave you for a second. So, copy. I want to copy all of that and paste all of that over there. Alright, power-wise, I want to cancel that because we're going to bring in... No, we'll cancel on that side. We will bring in power. I'm going to bring in heavy watt joint plate. And the reason I'm going to put it up here is... I don't need those transformers. No, I really don't need those transformers. because we're just going to use heavy watt pipes. Heavy watt joint plates. Okay, copy that. Put that there. Cancel that. Copy that. Put that there. That way we're centered again. Plumbing. Cancel all of that. We want plumbing. Insulator goes down across. Jumps over like that. Joins into that one. Insulator to there. You can go on. So it has to be one tile wider. Rotate that way. Plumbing, inside a pipe. There to there to there to a liquid vent. Inside a pipe. Okay, cancel that. Let's wrap that. Oh, because that. Hang on. This pipe is going to come. Maybe like that. Alright, let's just. Another one of these. Another one of those. Plumbing. Inside a pipe. You go into there. You go into there. You go into there. You go into there. Okay. So if I take my inside a pipe and I run it, I need to cool both of these steam turbines. That's a definite. Actually, no. What I need to do is I need to copy that whole thing, paste it there, cancel the whole thing, pick the whole thing back up and move it back, and now it's one tile taller. That makes me feel a little bit better about things. I need to actively cool these steam turbines, and that's going to be the trickiest problem. Because I'm condensing hydrogen into a liquid, if I have any sort of hydrogen atmosphere or anything else up here, what'll end up happening is it will also get condensed into a liquid or potentially a solid. So I need to be careful about what I do for cooling for these guys. So I'm trying to work out how to get not just one cooling pipe up here, but two cooling pipes. So both aqua tuners both have the ability to cool both of the steam turbines. And that's where the difficulty is coming in. So let's just do... Okay, you can't go that way. So we're going to do plumbing, inside a pipe to there. They're going to swap over to gold. We're going to go up and down and up and down and up and down. And that's perfect. That gives me those ones free. One for a liquid vent. One for a high pressure gas valve. We're also going to want a gas shutoff in there, which I need to hook up with a gas pipe. And automation, a Atmos sensor right there with one of those there. I need a plumbing, I need a pump down in that corner. I also need automation. I need a hydro sensor right there. Back to my pipe conundrum. Okay, so this side's easy. I can just take this straight to here. Straight to here? Yeah, I think so. Run you along, jump you over, and plumbing, gold, do something like that with a bridge. That way. You, on the other hand, you are going to need insulated pipe comes up to there, up to there. I guess you're going to come to there, then jump across, and then swap to gold, to there, back to insulated, and do something like that mess. Yes. Okay, and then I'm going to want a heavy wire thingy. I'm going to build these things at ground level. Yeah, you got to be built at ground level so I can get dupes in and out. I need power. I'm going to need a power transformer out of steel. Right there. So I can use that to power that up. And heavy wire conductive wire right the way through to those, right the way through those, right the way through those, and then bring you down to there somewhere. That ladder needs to come all the way down. That pipe now goes straight through there, and that's going to be a hydrogen pipe. Okay, so that's the plan. The dupes need to get that done. This is going to take the dupes forever to build. On top of that, I'm also going to need temp shift plates. It honestly doesn't matter what I make them out of, because it's literally just about sealing in the back wall and adding thermal mass. So I'm going to cancel those two tiles so dupes can get in and out. We're going to do utilities, temp shift plates out of diamond, because why not? And fill in the whole area. I can't touch... So for this layer, I can touch the left and right side, but I can't touch the bottom and I can't touch the top, because I don't want to transfer hot heat from this room either up into the steam turbines or down into our liquid hydrogen. So I'm just going to run temp shift tiles through the middle of that one. And for this one, do I need... I don't... Oh, that's so annoying. Is that insulated pipe out of insulation? I don't have that much insulation. Yeah, no, let's not do that. Cancel. Liquid pipes. Sure, I can definitely see what I'm doing. Okay, that goes back there. Liquid pipes are... That one? Out of granite. Inside pipe out of granite, inside pipe out of granite. I don't even know when that swapped over. Obsidian. Did I... Oh, I can't remember. Okay, yeah, so the top level does not need to be anything as good, because we don't need to worry about really doing. No, I will need temp shift plates up here. I just need less of them. So if we do every second tile, that should be overkill with the temp shift plates. And then drywall. Out of sandstone, every other tile. And the top row in there. Okay, so that's going to give the dupes like the biggest building project ever. It's just going to take them... Oh, power. Lead? Maybe not lead. Maybe just as a, steel, because why not? Yeah, giant build project. If I cancel buildings, if I cancel that tile and I deconstruct that tile, I should be able to put one there, and one. No, I can't put one there because then they can't get down. Okay. Because yeah, I'm gonna have to fill up the top area with hydrogen, which there's a very good chance I might liquefy. This is one of the reasons I've put in the temp shift plate, so hopefully if there's liquid hydrogen down there, it can suck the heat out of liquid hydrogen into the temp shift plate and move it into the steam turbine so it doesn't overheat. That's the hope, at least. Otherwise, I'm going to dump supercoolant up there on the floor. Yes, supercoolant. I'm going to print out some plastic. Yeah, you could be made out of mafic rock. Realistically, I could make the lid out of plastic and probably a lot of the stuff down here because it's all out to space, so it can't thermally transfer. But yeah, so that's project number 1. Project number 2, which I will use plastic for. Yeah, why not? Is going to be a power room. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Power. I'm going to want petroleum generators. I could only build 4 of these because they use 2 kilograms per second, and a pipe only moves 10 kilograms per second. So if I build 4 of them, that's 8 kilo. That should be like pretty much as I can possibly get out of these machines. Mesh tiles all along there, plastic down to here, mesh tiles again. Nope. Power. Petroleum generator. Definitely out of steel. 1, 2. 1, 2. Mesh tiles there. Mesh tiles there. We'll do a plastic ladder for access. That failed so hard. I want a stations, a power control station right there. I'm going to want a pump. Am I going to want a pump? Do I really care about the polluted water? I think the answer is no. And how big is that room? 8 by 14, which is 80... Oops, slow down. 80... No, it's too big. Copy. All that stuff. Paste over there. That can all go away. That can all go away. Copy. Paste it back over here, 1 tile closer to the edge. Cancel all that. Plastic tiles. Nope. Because all you guys are going to spit out a whole heap of polluted water. We're going to take that pipe through to here. And up. I'm going to put in a bridge right there, which will prioritize it going straight through. And we're... Yeah, let's do that. And then we're going to do liquid reservoir. Intake, outtake. No, I do not want one floating over there in midair. Plumbing. Inside a pipe. So we're going to go into those 2. That'll do us. And then I want a liquid bridge in there as well. How big is this room? 7 by 14, which is 7, 10, 70 plus 4 times 7. It's 24, which is 94 tiles. Power generation room could be 96. from memory. Power plant. 96. Cool. I got 2 tiles free. Not that I've got any use for them, but yeah, that's that room done. So that's going to be like just excess power, which we can then cancel you. Power. Heavy what? Conductive plate right there. Put in conductive cable. Up to there. Up to there. Technically, I should get a battery in here. Power, smart battery, right there. Which is 6 tiles, but I just removed 4. So hopefully that's the right amount. And what rocket? No, that's a steam rocket coming and going. Okay. I think that'll work. And then, same story, utilities, drywall, probably nice and low. So no, we're going to seal up all the generators and leave ourselves just a little gap here at the bottom. So the polluted water that's going to be hot is going to come out. It's going to pull at the bottom. It's then going to evaporate, which should keep my smart battery cool. And then I'm just going to put a door on here, and we're just going to let the CO2 just vent out the doorway. Or maybe just swap the top tiles to airflow tiles. I don't know. Okay, cancel buildings. That one, and that one. That way, hopefully, they can get this insulated pipe through. There's that insulated pipe as well. Technically, I just built this 3 wide and have, yeah, whatever. But yeah, so the dupes have got a couple of building projects to do. So I'm going to immediately put in a cut, and we're going to come back hopefully after all of this is built. It should be fairly easy to power on. It's just the build time, and it's one hell of a build time. There is so many things that need to get done to get this up and running. At the same time, my heavy watt wire comes down here, so I'm going to have to, well, joint plate that in there and run that down that side of the Cheval farm, which is now running beautifully. Everything's like 200 odd degrees, but it's all happy being 200 odd degrees, so that's great for me. But yeah, so the dupe's gonna have to build this. It's gonna take a while. I'm gonna put in a cut, and we'll be back when it's all done, hopefully. And we're back. Things are almost finished. So first off, some more printables. Sure, more Chevals. Why not? So where are we up to? Well, You priority 9 or you'll never get done. So, what we've done is we've got our petroleum generators hooked up. They are dumping polluted water onto the ground, which is at like 69 degrees, which is keeping our battery cool. That's problem number 1 sorted. It really doesn't do any taxing on our petroleum line because our petroleum line it's mostly idle. It only really kicks in occasionally when a rocket is sitting here waiting to be filled up. Like this one is entirely full. Why have you not launched yet? Because you meant to go there. Launch. Go away. So most of the time, like our petroleum line is completely idle. So it's pretty good. So we're just bringing the excess petroleum over here slowly, you know, filling up these 2 buffer tanks and then creating a bit of extra power when we need it. We have pretty much solved our power problem. On top of that, we are slowly filling up, basically filling up these with liquids. It seems the dupes are having problems finding petroleum. I thought I do have petroleum auto bottle. That'll fix that problem. And water. Water. Could be a little bit more difficult because I think we've pumped out petroleum crude oil, brine, 44 kilos. Yeah, we seem to have pumped out, finally. We'll just do a general mop. See what magical liquids we come up with. We seem to have pumped out all the water. That's naphtha, even though there's a little bit of water over there. We seem to have pumped out most of the water on the map into tanks. I do have a water supply line here, which would be an absolute nightmare to get over there. I do have a water supply line here. Okay, we found our water supply. We're just gonna run a normal pipe off that. Cross here, up here, cross here, up this ladder, and into there with a liquid net. Okay, more stuff for the dupes too. On top of that, I've started priming this area with supercoolant. So I've added supercoolant on the top into the steam room. I know you might say it's a little bit of waste, especially at 15 kilos per tile. I don't need 15 kilos per tile, like a kilo per tile would have been heaps. But I want to make sure that even if we freeze all the hydrogen that's going to be in this room and it turns into a liquid or turns into a solid, it's still going to make contact with the radiant pipes behind it, and therefore also at the same time transfer temperature to make sure our steam engines don't overheat. Okay, fine. Yeah, you're 1300 degrees already. Yeah, we really need that water line running now. I turned these on early thinking they'd be okay. Obviously they weren't. So yeah, we've done that. As for these guys, yeah, they're waiting on, well, petroleum and water. I don't really want brine in here because I don't want something I have to clean up. And these 2 guys are bringing in supercoolant. Supercoolant, I was just using the pump that was already here because it was already here. We've filled the first line already. That can actually go away. And then we're going to fill the second line. If you're at all curious, it took 40 minutes for the dupes to build all this. Yeah, they're not exactly fast nowadays. They're quite fast at building things, but the game has really slowed down. Really slowed down. You'll notice that I pause the game whenever I scroll and do anything or move anywhere. On top of that, our thimbleweed farm is growing, except in most cases we just don't have the irrigation. It turns out 1 pump, and I should have probably done the maths beforehand, 1 pump really only does 2 rows before it runs out of 10 kilos per second of water. And yeah, but we are now making thimbleweed. According to this, we have exactly 8 in stock, although this is set to make insulation forever, so it's going to disappear fairly quickly. Because of that, I'm going to finally How much insulation do I have? 1,400 tons. Yeah, we'll see how quickly that... That's 1,200. But if I can replace all these bridges from here to here, it means I can remove the return loop on... Oh, you're already on insulation. Oh, let's replace you with ceramic. It means I can remove all my returns on the liquid oxygen, which means I only need liquid oxygen going in one direction, which would be absolutely awesome. Meanwhile, dupes build. Dupes build faster. Unreachable, unreachable. There you go. That should get you guys there. Yeah, that's pretty damaged. You guys... No, we out of supercoolant? No, 7.4 tons. Low priority, priority 54. Yeah, there's a few priority 9 tasks that I want them to deal with. Namely this water line. If we get this water line in, then we can cool down our aqua tuner. We can go repair it, and then once it's repaired, nobody delivered petroleum. Priority now. Battery 1. Scalding 3. Oh, that seems like a warm place to be. It's fine. Oh, all this stuff that was available we mopped up. After we mopped a little bit of it, it exploded. Yeah, it does that. Are you? Misha Maker. Oh, that could be deconstructed as well. Your alert. I need to keep an eye on this until it's done. Scalding's fine. Heat stroke's fine. It's incapacitated. That's the only one we're really worried about. Scalding. Overheat damage. Come on, just a few more pipe sections. I'm willing to bet that's bad rewind. Bad unkillable rewind. Oh, it's 1300 degrees. Oh, my bad. Good news, it's cooled down. Bad news, whole area is full of sour gas. Alright, I'm going to put in a cut here and fix this. The way I'm going to fix this is I am going to deconstruct background buildings. All of those. Yep. And they'll fall to the floor, and then all the sour gas will disappear, and then I will just rebuild them, and yeah, away we go. Also, at the same time, that can be repaired finally. 1300 degrees was probably a little bit too warm. Oh, suffocating. Wow. That was close. There are definitely some dupes missing some hit points. Wait, you deconstruct. It's literally these mopping tasks. These mopping tasks are out to kill the dupes. In that case, we should definitely do more mopping tasks. It's only 70 degrees. I don't know what you guys are complaining about. I've sent you to way hotter spots. Way more often, actually. Anyway, back to this. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Hang on. How much gas is actually left now? Still a decent amount. Suffocating, starvation, heat stroke. Micrograms. Grams. Micrograms. Yeah, that shouldn't take long. And then I can just rebuild all the tiles. Nobody wants to repair this? Available errands. Nobody. Okay, we'll just do that. Hopefully somebody will get to it. Back to a vacuum. Drywall, sandstone, priority 9. All the way across there. That pipe should be built. Oh, there's the water. Which means you can deconstruct, you can deconstruct, and you can deconstruct. Store materials being deconstructed. Okay. So now the fact that it's being deconstructed means we don't apply for new drop-off orders. Good. That's a great change. Yeah, we've still got a lot of pondering time, as you can see, which slows down the whole game. It's one of the reasons, like, more often than not, I have to run the game at single speed just to get things done. Because at single speed, as you can see, if I zoom out a little bit so they're not so loud, they do a good job of going from task A to B to C to D. If I go back to 3 times speed, you know, they're standing around just thinking about things for excessive amounts of time. Which means stuff like this. If they're scolding, it means they're spending a certain amount of time thinking about what to do next, rather than getting the hell out of there. So, yeah, those interesting things you learn. But hopefully we can decommission this pump, just go straight to 1 pump. Hopefully we can empty out this before the series ends. Top priority repair errand. Nobody wants to do it? Super Tux. Okay. Water is at 30 kilos. I want a couple of 100 kilos per tile. At the same time, super coolant. Okay, you're full, so I want to deconstruct that. I want to snip that from that. I want to... which should stand... No, stop putting super coolant in there, please. Mop, priority 9. All that's got to go. Yeah, you've got super coolant in you that I need out, so you're going to have to be emptied. I want a empty pipe on that one pipe section. And from the looks of it, I have to empty that pipe as well, because it's overfilled. Speaking of things, gas pipe. I ran a giant gas pipe up the whole base, which I should be able to just plug in there and at least fill the top chamber with hydrogen. Yeah, fill the top chamber with hydrogen. Once that's done, I can just get rid of all this piping. Just leave the piping in for the bottom one. After we've mopped up all our super coolant. Are you now gonna... Nope. Try again. And pump in there. I just need to see this rotating. Nope. 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 That's it. No, it's not. It's one more. It got overfilled. Yeah, it needs one more pipe segment. Empty. You're done, so you can be sealed in. You have 2 kilos with the hydrogen already, so we can... Come on, game. Decommission all those gas pipes, which... 1, 2, 3, 4. Dupes can't quite reach. You could be deconstructed. You could be deconstructed. You need to be set to... You guys need to be swept up. You lot need to be swept up actually before those walls are done. And then I guess we can turn things on. So again, I'm going to put in another cut whilst we just have the dupes clean up everything. Once it's all clean, once it's all tidy. Did you instantly melt? Oh no, it let hydrogen out of the pipe. Okay, I thought I saw sour gas. Alright. Yeah, I'm going to put in one more cut here and we'll come back after the dupes have cleaned all this stuff up. And then we should be at the point where we can turn this on. And that means next episode, hopefully we can build the rocket and all rockets. The one that's going to get us to the temporal tear. As you can see, apart from insulation, I don't hurt for materials. I've got plenty of supercoolant, plenty of the thermium. I've got spare niobium. It's really the insulation is the only thing holding me back, which is just down to the reed fiber, which if I gave it half a dozen cycles, we'd be fine on. And we've cooled down the whole area enough. Yeah, nice balmy 26 degrees. It's literally just feeding in the polluted water fast enough, which I just can't do because I only built this with one pump. So I'm already pumping out 10 kilos per second. I cannot possibly pump out any more. So yeah, I'm going to leave it here. I'll put in a cut. See you right for the very end when we turn this baby on for good and start trying to cool down this area. And finally we're done. We just need a couple more insulated tiles. I've already set this water pipe to be deconstructed because I wasn't watching and we've got almost 300 kilos per tile. I need this petroleum pipe to go away because it turns out we can make that in a straight line. So yeah, the dupes still have some work to do. Best thing about working in a vacuum is when you deconstruct a petroleum pipe full of petroleum, the petroleum just magically disappears. We've still got some scalding problems, you know. Everything we mopped up is still down here. It's still blistering hot. It's fine. I didn't accidentally fill, like, all the medical beds. We've still got some left over where dupes are still just having a little bit of R&R. And the natural gas explosion that was there earlier is still there. And the methane's going up. And the temperature is... Oh, we're down to minus 30 odd degrees. So we are slowly cooling things down. 1.7 tons of petroleum. Okay. So yeah, as soon as we've, well, like that, we've finished that tile, we can set these to above and above and start cooling down that whole area. Also means I can finally start dumping hydrogen into this room. So it's going to take a while. It's going to take a while to cool down this whole area. Incapacitated. Does anybody rescue Gemini? Biome. 1,200 cycles. Maybe it's time that Gemini... No. Gemini is getting rescued. By somebody with twinkle toes who just has to clean their feet beforehand. Sparkles in a tube. Yeah, I think for the next playthrough we need a tube access right beside the medical suite. That seems important. So yeah, this is going to take a while to cool down. Wow, talk about getting in a meteorite at the very last second. The doors are almost shut. Yeah. So, it's going to take a while to cool this down. Between the abundance of thermal mass of both the supercoolant itself, along with all the background tiles made out of diamond, along with just the drywall itself. Like, each piece of drywall is... Hang on, I'll find one. B is 400 kilograms. It is sandstone, so it's fairly easy to cool down, but there's just a giant amount of thermal mass in here. It probably doesn't help that I'm pumping in hydrogen already, but, you know, it'll get there. This should be able to take at least 1 kilo per second of hydrogen. But unfortunately, yeah, hydrogen has to get down to minus 252.2 degrees to turn to liquid. And then I have a 7-degree gap before it turns into a solid. So it's going to be a little bit careful, a little bit risky to try and get it down to the exact right temperature. But yeah, this is pretty much it for this episode. This episode is, you know, well, the next, we're at cycle 1400, so probably the next 50 cycles, maybe a little bit less, is going to be, because I've got 2 aqua tuners doing the cooling. But yeah, for the next significant little while, it's going to be waiting for the background plates along with the supercoolant, everything to cool all the way down to minus 250 odd degrees, because you've got to remember each time it does a loop, it only goes down by 14 degrees, so it's going to take quite some time for it to cool all the way down. I've just realized this pipe has gaps in it. Does that annoy me enough for me to do something about it? I don't think so. So yeah, it's going to take a while for this to cool down, a significant while. So this has got to cool down, all the background mass has got to cool down. We've just started making some steam. And an autosave. $70, 150 kilos of steam. Still a little bit of water left, guys. Just that tile. Grams, grams, grams. Steam. 150 kilos per tile? Yeah, okay. So, it's going to take a while to cool down all this thermal mass, then we'll start producing some liquid hydrogen, which means in the next episode we're going to build the rocket and all rockets, the one that has to get all the way out to the temporal tear, which is all the way out here at 1,800 kilometers, or is it 1,900? It's a long way out, okay? It's a long way out. It's 1,800. So it's going to take a long time to get there, a long time to get back, but that is our final quest. It is our final goal. And we're leaking polluted water. I actually think it's meteorites coming down and smashing into our plastic. All the plastic's melting. Plastic at 160 degrees. Maybe it's the plastic melting. Yeah, I'm just gonna wrap. Or actually, do we need steel? Is it a vacuum? So it's not as if you're venting hot air. Yeah, look, I'm gonna make it out of steel just in case it is meteorites sliding them down this gap and smashing into things. Speaking of that, I'll probably put that and that there as a bunker defense. No, I can't build in that tile. Tube should still get through there. Yep. So, I'm going to leave it here. Thank you guys so much for watching. As I said, there's going to be a couple episodes left in this season, and then we're going to go on to a new playthrough, because as you can see, the game has got awfully slow. It's no longer... It's not so much my machine that's limiting the factor, it's just the game. I'm on a 9900K, so it's about as fast as CPUs can get, and it's just down to it's slow. It's slow. It's really, really slow. Just because there's so much happening in the game. If we zoom all the way out, and we look at plumbing, that's a lot of pipes doing a lot of things. Gas overlay, exact same. That's a lot of pipes doing a lot of things. Power overlay is fairly simple to calculate. He says it takes 5 minutes for it to load up. That's a lot of power cables. Yeah. Speaking of that, did you guys ever get lowered pressure? Not really. That's Regolith. Holy crap, that's a lot of polluted oxygen. Actually, in one episode, we got 14 tons. 14 tons of ceramic in, I don't know how many cycles it was, but it's not bad. So yeah, I'm going to leave it here. I will see you guys in the next episode, where we aim to send JD through the temporal tear and find out if, being a doomsday prepper, we actually managed to escape the extermination of the planet. Anyway, that's it. I'm out. Thank you guys so much for watching. Do hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. All right, bye.